Hey guys, it's Danny. Today, I'm gonna try to rejuvenate a little bit this orchid, which doesn't look very pretty, does she? Well, I think I did a boo-boo. I think I did not fertilize this orchid properly in a while. And this while, I really don't know how long it is because, see that? A tag without a date. This means this orchid never received slow release fertilizer, and as it just so happens, I ran out of MSU for a little while now, and I'm trying to compensate with whatever fertilizers I find locally plus my slow release fertilizer. This one has no slow release fertilizer. I was actually looking in my special Phalaenopsis cabinets and everything looks so nice and so luscious. You know, they have those really nice glossy leaves. I really love these cabinets, and this one just sticks out like a sore, what's the expression? Like a sore thumb, apparently. I don't know why a sore thumb would stick out. But anyway, I'm like, what is going on? Do we have roots? Do we have an issue with the stem? No, we actually have roots and there's no issue with the stem. What we don't have is fertilizer. So I'm guessing what you see here is quite an advanced case of deficiency. Now, this orchid has been in this medium for more than 2 years at this point. I do have some roots that I need to cut away. The medium doesn't look so fresh anymore. There are many good roots, so that's good. And definitely I want to make sure that I offer proper fertilizer. So I decided to take you guys along, talk a little bit about deficiencies as well, which is a subject that I don't really talk much about on my channel because I don't really have deficiencies. Well, boo-boos happen. Yes, I have been known to fail quite a number of times. But hey, take this as a learning lesson. So if you decide that you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and why not subscribe? I post multiple times a week. Right, let me get my tray. By the way, I'm gonna stick with my white tray because the other one, I didn't realize, it's so glossy it acts like a mirror. No, not what we want here. So I'm gonna keep that tray for off-camera repotting, and I'm still gonna be using the IKEA white tray. Ta-da, trusty IKEA tray. Alrighty, so before anything, you don't have to use slow release fertilizer together with your regular fertilizer. It is just something that I do because here in my little country, we don't have too many things to choose from when it comes to fertilizer. So the fertilizer I'm using is just an all-purpose fertilizer. It's really incomplete. So I supplement with some Osmocote Pro High K fertilizer, and I think this is the real MVP because it has the better specs. Why don't I just purchase myself another MSU? Well, the MSU is produced in the USA and I live in Cyprus, and in order to get it here, I need to import it. But guess what? I cannot import some stuff like organics and fertilizers and pesticides from anywhere outside of the EU. So until rePotme becomes available in Europe, which, oh my goodness, I hope it will happen soon, I kind of need to manage because I have no more MSU. I have been using MSU for 5 years, all okay. And in the past quite a few months, I don't have it anymore, and it's scary. But I'll manage, don't worry. This, however, though, has no slow release fertilizer in the pot. I kind of relied only on my water-soluble fertilizer, and to be fully honest with you, if you remember why I started to use this, it was because I sometimes get lazy to prepare the water. So I under-fertilized this one very, very badly, but no more. So let's just remove it from the pot. Yeah, the bark is not so fresh anymore. Look how easily it crumbles. It is pretty broken down. You know, I think it would have lasted maybe a few more months. It's not a super urgent case of repotting, but it is pretty close to the end of its functional life, let's say. At this point, the medium will start to break down and become very, very acidic, which is not good for the roots. So I needed to repot this orchid anyway. Any slow release? No slow release, no. I don't know how I forgot it. Typically, I inserted slow release beads with a long-nosed tweezers, but this one just escaped. I've been known to skip watering some orchids actually as well, so I'm not surprised, but I am kinda. And I do suspect that all of this yellowing leaves that we see here is an outcome of improper fertilization. Not only that, I do see this new leaf is contorted. Not good, right? This, again, leads me to believe it is a nutrient-related issue. Phalaenopsis can typically lose, in a very similar manner, the bottom leaves, they can start losing them if they become dehydrated. But this orchid does not have signs of dehydration. The leaves are very perky. I do have good roots. I even have growing roots, and yet I have yellowing bottom leaves. Also, I don't like how these new roots look like. Do you see they don't really have the power to grow? They're just kind of stubby and I don't know, just not growing right? Also, flower spikes are yellowing, and this is again weird. All of them are yellowing, and I see the yellowing starts from here, not from here. Do you see there's a difference in color? The tip is yellow, the base is green. Again, this leads me to believe that the orchid is absorbing nutrients. Look, I think this is a lot more visible. We have yellowing here and green here. So the flower spike is not all together yellowing at the same time, like in many cases it happens when the spike is done, the flowering is done. No, this orchid looks like it's pulling all of the nutrients that it can from the flower spikes. So, because of all of these things that I'm seeing, I suspect that we do indeed have a serious deficiency issue here. You can see that the yellowing is very gradual. This leaf is still green, but it's just starting to yellow. It's not to the point that it will be dropped off, so maybe this one will be rejuvenated. Sometimes it happens that if you provide the necessary nutrients in time, you can revert a little bit the process. Whatever looks like this, and you can see already we have wrinkles, this cannot be saved. But a leaf like this, which is paler green but still has chlorophyll and it doesn't have any wrinkles in it, this one I think can be saved. So maybe we can reverse the process in this leaf. We'll see. Anyway, no, oh, that was my phone. It's okay, I didn't break the screen more than it is. I never break screens on my phones. I broke the screen on this one by sitting on it. In the car, it fell out of my pocket and I just sat on it. And a little corner of the screen is cracked, but it's okay. I have a screen protector and it sits. It's not the time for a new phone. So I'm just gonna go ahead and remove all of these dried roots. Did I even tell you what orchid this is? It's the beautiful young blueberry indigo. Do you remember this one? Produces beautiful indigo flowers. It's like a dusty purple, beautiful color. They are also very, very fragrant. I really like this orchid, and it used to look so beautiful when it was properly fed. Now, some of you might wonder why I didn't pre-wet the potting mix. Well, there was no need. It's not like I had an abundance of roots that I wanted to make as flexible as possible, that's one. And second, whenever I can, I like to use or work with dried potting mix because now I don't have a whole mess here. I can easily clean it from the roots. Since the bark that I'm using is a medium grade, it's not very big, the roots don't really get a chance to attach very, very strongly to it. So it's not like I need to remove every piece and damage the filament, so I need to pre-soak it not to damage it. No. Due to the size of the bark that I'm using, I can definitely get away with a dry repot. Ooh, that sounds good. A dry repot. I'm gonna trademark this. I'm going to reuse this pot. It can definitely hold all of the roots and I think it will be good for another 2 years. Gonna get rid of this, wash this a little bit and just use the same setup once again. I'll be right with you. I also will not be using hydrogen peroxide 3% because this is definitely not a new orchid. I know there are no pests, nothing that I want to get rid of on the roots of this orchid, so no need to just waste hydrogen peroxide. And the way that I'm gonna pot it, of course, is my typical thing, putting some sphagnum moss on the bottom and then alternating the layers of moss and bark. Let's make a level test. Yep, we're gonna stick to the original level. Now, I'm guessing some of you are wondering if I'm going to remove the yellow leaves. No, there are 2 reasons why I don't want to do that. If the orchid wants to pull any nutrients from them, I want to let her do that. There's always a little bit of an inertia. You do something and then it takes a while until you see results or an improvement or a downgrade. That's one. Second, I always prefer to let leaves just fall off on their own from the abscission point, which is very, very close to the base. In this way, the orchid will just look tidier and also I'm not opening up the tissue for pathogens. So I'm gonna give you a close-up of that abscission line. I know for a fact you have seen it on your Phalaenopsis. If you ever wondered what it was, well, now you know. When leaves fall, they will disconnect from that point. And it's a very, very safe area for them to disconnect. When they're dry, when they're green, don't pull on them. They will not disconnect from there. They're just gonna be ripped. Don't pull on the leaves. Same story with the flower spikes. They will not magically rejuvenate themselves. But if the orchid feels the need to pull some nutrients and energy from them, I don't need the flower spikes. She is absolutely free to do so, so I'm not going to cut them. Flower spikes don't have abscission lines. They will not detach on their own, but they will dry, and at some point you will just have to cut them. It doesn't really matter where you cut them when they're dry, but in any case, I'm not gonna worry about the flower spikes. Right. Let's place some slow release fertilizer. There we go. Now I have it on camera that this orchid has slow release fertilizer. And I will also put the date on my tag. Many people put the date of the repot. I personally don't really need to do so because I actually, for whatever reason, I remember quite a lot of things about my orchids, including when I repotted them, the general season at least, if not the date. But with slow release fertilizer, I actually don't really remember. Obviously, I don't remember when I add slow release fertilizer, and I need to refresh it once a year or so. So that's why I like to put dates on my tags. But a lot of people put dates not because of the slow release fertilizer, but because of the repot. So not everybody who puts dates uses slow release fertilizer, is what I'm trying to say. Right. Now just top it off with some bark. I'm gonna water this orchid very, very well, and we're pretty much done. I'm gonna give you a few updates just to stay in the realm of rejuvenations. Recently, we rejuvenated 2 orchids, one of which I posted on the other channel, on the shorts channel, and it kind of has to do with me forgetting things. Right, so this girl is done, looking beautiful. I'm gonna go water it, and I'll come back with the Cattleya that was very dehydrated. I'm gonna show you how she looks now, and another Phalaenopsis. Hold on, don't go anywhere. And I showed you it was getting dehydrated even though it had roots. And the problem was there were no roots in the pot, but quite a lot of roots on the surface, which of course didn't get enough hydration. And what we did was to pot it again, and I put the roots inside the medium just so they benefit from more moisture. And look at that, it's magic, it's hydrated. Yes, that's what happens when you offer enough water to the roots. It's not enough for them to exist. In our homes, we don't have the necessary ambiental humidity, and more than that, actually dew and all of that fun stuff that these guys will benefit from in their natural habitats, because the amount of water it was getting here at the top wasn't actually enough. So yeah, it's about done. We didn't really need to do a whole lot for this orchid. Now, this one you didn't see. I put a video earlier this week on my shorts channel. If you want to check it out, I'll link it to it down below. I was showing you that this orchid was super wrinkly, but like super wrinkly, and this is because I skipped watering. When I was watering all of my Phalaenopsis, which are like in a row, when my watering can was empty, I filled it up, and when I came back, I didn't start where I left off. I skipped an orchid. I don't know, it happens. So this was the skipped one, and I realized it had no water. When I saw it one day, totally flopping, looking miserable, I pulled up the pot, and lo and behold, it was super, super dry. So what I did was I just soaked it normally for like 15 minutes, poured out the water, put it back, and pretend like it never happened. And like it never happened, it also looks like. There you go, it is cured. Just keep it simple. Identify the problem, go rectify the problem using like the most logical solution. It's as easy as that. So with that said, thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed today's video and hanging out with me. I hope you're all okay, which just seems to be the only thing that we really need at the moment, that everybody could need, is just to be okay. You know, nothing more, just to be okay. So I'm trying to be okay. I hope you guys are okay as well. But yeah, hope you're safe, hope you're okay, and I hope you disconnect a little bit by watching my videos. If you want to follow me on social media, feel free to search for me. I am at MissOrchidGirl. But most importantly, do subscribe to this channel because I post multiple times a week. Why wouldn't I? Am I right? Why wouldn't we post multiple times a week? I mean, I can think of a few reasons, but no, I'm still posting multiple times a week. So that said, I'll see you next time. Bye.